say congratulations to everyone for pushing through the semester, right, and making to this point. I had the opportunity to listen to the last presentation, and even there I learned something, right, that Amazon is 50% of the online retail space, and it takes 3 months to put their product on there, right? So interesting to me. I don't do business in the retail space. I'm in the HR technology, right? Um, but very unique. My mother actually worked 30 years for Rainbow Shops, it was an in-person store. So I know a lot about brick and mortar just from a family experience, but I learned something about the online space. So thank you. But moving on to my actual project with Andrew and Margarita, I think they did a fantastic job, an A+ job, a 4.0 job, right? And I say that because I was just in a conversation with SHRM, which is the Society of HR Management Professionals, right? It's like a trade association. And they were even impressed by the work that we did about landscaping the HR technology ecosystem for investors. Um, uh, uh, the work that you did, the graphics were great. Even I was talking to Sherm, they said, hey, nope, because HR has been an area that has somewhat been neglected from investment in technology, right? But there's a lot more interest after COVID and figuring out new ways of working or the concept of future of work. They were very impressed by the fact that we had so many, we mapped out the investors globally, broke it down by diversity, whether it's Black and Brown, which Margarita did, and Andrew. Just make it digestible, because they recognize that in our conversation, they were thinking about us partnering to do a series of explaining the HR tech landscape to traditional investors who don't have a concept of what really HR is in the US or globally, actually, because we're much more of a global workforce now, right? You can invest in a product in America, and that same thing is going to be used with your workforce, who's half of them could be in Brazil. But were there any specific comments that you might wanted, Professor or Andrew and Margarita?
At the end of the day, how are you going to use that information?
Yeah, yep, great point, right? So as I mentioned, one way is the relationship that we're building with SHRM, right? Literally, I was just on that call 30 minutes ago, right? So that's providing us with the thought leadership and also to sell that information, right? Information is powerful, particularly when it's new information that someone hasn't curated. And so there's I would say there's two main spots to it. One is providing thought leadership to people in terms of, here's the database you can use on your own. Number two, here's what you guys probably saw, a PowerPoint or a report that breaks down a particular category. So here's all the information for HR tech related to the payroll products, or here's everything related to a specific geographic region if you're looking to invest with HR broadly, let's say within Europe, right? So this is the trading of information that we're involved in. And lastly, there are private equity firms that are interested in us providing this information because particularly in the DEI front, that's why we focus on that Black and Brown report, because they want to have their suppliers. So the private equity firms who invested in their companies, let's say the restaurant area, they invest a lot in restaurant companies, franchises. They want to have their DEI goals met through supply diversity. They recognize that HR is going to be something that can be used by all of their portfolio companies. However, they don't know any Black or Brown owned HR tech companies. We were able to show them that there are in fact 2 unicorns or billion-dollar HR tech companies out there. And how can we curate a deeper list than just that 2, but also think about making them a tier 1 supplier, right? So that's hopefully that answers your question a little bit about the trading of information, setting up training programs to bring on tier 1 suppliers.